compensation grade. So we have sales team member, field sales. Compensation grade profile ID. Don't think we need top step ID. Compensation grade profile ID. Let's keep her. Actually, let's not change. Let's just increase some salary. She's already on field sales. We'll keep her grade profile ID as this. And we'll leave it as salary. Not this. Salary. Because the default unit not the safe plan data. Yeah, not giving her any unit salary or allowance plan, unit allowance plan, bonus plan. Let's just remove this. So I have a salary plan. Amount currently she's earning 138,000, and we'll do it to 145,000, which is still under her concrete, right? What max? Okay, should be there. 29 she's earning. Let's just make it 132. Okay, currency ID. What's the currency ID? No, prob common. No, it's a required or not required. Okay. Okay, good. I hope the com change went through. Just check with. And then yeah, basically has changed. Okay. So we have a successful working API request, which is this one is small. I mean, you're not changing a lot of information. You're just changing her job title and salary, right? For this in this instance of your API. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this API in my studio, and we have hard coded all these values, right? We'll probably have to make sure that we talk about it. So in that case, whatever you get in the file should actually sit in the API request, and you have to call Workday. So in order to do it, you have to use. Let me just save this. We have to keep it pretty safe. Desktop. Plus in job API. That's Stay there. Now, okay. I'm going back to my API call to my studio. So this is our studio. Yeah. Going back to properties view. Minimize this. So we have already seen the studio working. So we did a couple of things in the studio. We used local outs, local ins, everything, right? So now we have to use API calls within the studio, right? So I'll remove reorganize the studio so we can make that work. So my first thing is I have to input a file. So I have to keep this route. So it basically the docket writer is useful here. So I'm keeping it. What's this? This is something else. I probably remove it. Delete. So I'm copying my input file, converting it to an XML, storing it. So that's all good. Until there, I captured my input file and converted it into an XML. Right. So now I go to my other subroutine that's connected there. I'm calling a workday report to see if an employee is active or not. So I got all the results there. I stored them in a hash map. So I do have that. Next, I'm going, if there are any errors, that's it. Otherwise, I'm going file out, which will take my file in and use my splitter to split through each record and verify if an employee is active or not. First, if an employee is active or not. And if is active, then it passes through the aggregator and creates an output file. If he's inactive, then it will put him in the error log with it. Okay. So that's what we did, right? So now instead of just aggregating them, what we'll do, we'll use a workday out SOAP to call API. So, okay. Excuse me. So I'm gonna just disconnect this connector, this aggregator from here. Put this guy somewhere below. And then I'm going to use another async mediation. Within here, I'm going to use XSLT. Or create an XSLT. Create XSL. Change job product. Workday pre-fills your style sheet version, everything, so you don't have to worry. All you have to do is below here, in between, you have to put your API call. So I'm going to go grab my API from my web service tester, working API, and then put it right here. Okay. I'm going to remove this guy because it's already there. Yeah, and then now it's good. So now you have your style sheet initiated, and then you have your entire API call within that style sheet. Okay, have your annular body, everything. So now let's see, you have your business process parameters set to true. So this is all constants always, so you can leave them as true. And then you have your employee ID here, which you want, you don't want to be hard coded, right? So I'm removing this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my studio. I have initiated my employee ID somewhere, right? So file.employee ID is my employee ID that I'm getting from the file, right? So I have initiated a parameter here, but I have to get that parameter into my XSLT. So in order to do that, what you'll do is before the template, so it's fine. Before the template, what you'll do is XSL param Hold on. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's right. Accessible param name equal to, and you basically give your props name. So you are localizing your parameters, uh, and you are using them in your XSLT. Okay. So I've done that, and I've also have to. So now I've done that. I'm also doing the other name parameters. Sorry, other properties that we have initiated. Like we don't need first name. We're not using it on our XLT, so we leave it. File date. Probably we can use that. Change of file date. And then I do also have job title somewhere. Job title. Now I have initiated a couple of parameters. Let's try to use them here. So instead of where I have to put my employee ID, I'm going to put parameters that I created or the props we have created. I'm going to put enter. I'm going to do XSL value of select, and then I'm going to use a dollar and use file dot employee ID. I'm going to use this parameter. Okay. So what we're technically saying it is whatever the parameter that is passed at this particular time in this props or saved in this file.employee ID, just place it between them in the employee ID tag. Okay. Within the effective date, we need to pass the date. So let's use the file date that we have. So which is already in MMDDYY format, right? So which is already in MMDDYY. Yeah. So we're going to use this date, file.date. Dollar. Change of subject. So I mean, we don't have a record for this one in the file that we are currently using. But for example, how do you do it is you probably will get something like transfer, like you'll get results file in your output file. When you look at your output file, let's actually create something. Let's actually do it. Within my file, right, I have two results. I have change, job transfer, and I have job title change. Let's expect those are the two results. So I'm going to change my file a little bit. This is my file, right? So I'm going to add one more field here called change job reason. And I'll say transfer. I'll say title change, just the title, something. And then I'll say title again. Okay. When we still need to initiate them in our props, right? Because there is a new field added, and the field name will be this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my studio, go to my props, to my file props here, what I'll do is props of file dot change job reason equal to parts of 0 dot xpath. If you guys have any questions, just stop me if you want. I'm just going quick because we already did these things a couple of times. Not only. Now I have my change of reason, right? So what I'll do is in my XSLT, I'll write a logic. I'll build a logic here. So I'm gonna remove this. I can do it different ways. So XSL, I'll write a condition. I can write this if I don't have to write the choose if test equal to, I'm gonna initiate my parameter here, XSL param name file dot change of reason test dollar file dot change of reason equal to transfer then XSL value of select equal to, let's get a different transfer reason. So I'll go to my integration IDs. This is the reason for transfer. So I'm going to use this. Okay. Or if my test condition is different, test if my file dot change of reason equal to, what's the other one, title, then print XSL value of select, print data change of details. So what we're basically saying here is, depending on your flags that you got from your file, you can write multiple conditions here. You can also do this using integration maps. So if you do this using integration maps, it will appear on the UI, so you can change it on the UI itself. If you do it like this, you might have to do it on your change it on your code if any changes come. Okay. We've worked on reason difference. So my job title, position title should be coming from my integration file. So I'm going to go back, input something in my file. This is going big. I'm going to change this guy's job title to something, sales manager. Okay, and this guy's to clerk, office clerk. And this ladies will be warrior, or something like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the same position title in both my job title and my position title and my business title. Okay, so before doing that, I have to initiate this. So I'm gonna copy this, and I'll use it in my properties. Same thing, how we did our change of reason. We'll do the same thing. Props of file dot title. We already have title. Oh, we already have a job title here, right? So I don't have to create it. Yeah, we already have a job title listed in our parameters. I don't need this. Which will save some time here. Okay. Then I use the same thing in both of my position ID and job position title. XSL value of select. Dollar. Get my job title there. And I can copy this and paste it in the business title as well, because those are the same things for me. Save. Okay. Now I have proposed compensation business process where proposed compensation for position data. I'm gonna remove this. Okay, compensation package ID. So probably you have to do something like this. If you have a flag in your integration in your file, or if you have a way to identify based on a flag. So for example, if if the file can tell you what job profile the person should belong, and you can or what anything what position the person should belong, you can probably query Workday, get all the details like compensation package ID and everything for that specific position, and you can put them here. But let's see if we got something like that. So we're going to change his compensation, right? Why don't we get all these fields from our report that we are already using in this integration? Right? We have a custom report here, right? Let's get details from there. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back to my Workday. I'm going to add a couple of other custom report, edit. I don't need hide date. I need active status. I don't need this active date at all. Do I need this position? Okay, let's leave that. Okay. Compensation grade. It's definitely not a worker compensation grade. It's here. But I need reference ID of that compensation grade. What I do is instead I use compensation grade here. Or I can create a cal field. Let me create a cal field. Create cal field. Because I can find compensation grade within my compensation. Come on. I can find compensation grade and compensation grade profile per worker, but I can't get a reference ID. That unless I create a cal field here. Comp grade ID. Let's get it on a worker object. Function is lookup related value. Compensation grade. Reference ID. Okay. Similarly, I should get CF comp grade profile. Here I have to do compensation grade profile and reference ID. I'm going to use these two fields that are on worker object right now. Profile. I'll rename my XML tags so it will be easy for me. Okay. What else do I need? Let's just verify before closing that report out. So I'm going to hard code this. We are going to get both of these. It's my compensation package. Yeah, I still need my comp package, so I'm going to copy my cal field again. Okay. Okay. So I have my grade, profile, and package. Just quickly run it, and I should see my comp grade reference ID, grade profile reference ID, and my package reference ID. Okay. So I'm gonna put them in my props. So I got them from the report, right? So where is my report being stored? I did store them in a hash map, right? I did store my entire report in my hash map, and I did copy that hash map here, so I get the value when a variable to a message, and then I'm getting all this job title and everything from the report. Okay. So job title is coming from the report. Okay, whatever. Props of it's to grade equal to parts of 0 dot xpath instead of job title. I'll put my grade here. Okay. Same thing. Copy profile. I'm gonna use this in my XSLT now. So I'm gonna initiate them as parameters first. XSL name. Now we have seen how to use your data from your file and query your data from your workday. And you can use this both information in your API call. So depending on how you can do it. Almost done. I have my grade here. Okay, I should have grade here. That's package. This is grade package. Grade profile here. And I'm gonna get this amount from my file. So whatever amount that I give on my file, I'm gonna add amount field here. 1112123 120,000. $100. Yes, and I have to. Okay, let's indicate it here. That's it. I think we're almost ready to run it. Okay. So we have configured our API call to it can now work through Studio, and we have used parameters that we have or fields that we have got from the file, and also we have used some reference IDs that we queried Workday to get the values for, right? So let's quickly save it. Let's just verify closing this. I'm going to verify if my error logs are looking good. So I need an error log here. And this can also point to the same error message. Just nothing changes. Okay. And then after my mediation, I'm going to put a log to see if the translated XML, the Workday API, is looking good. So I'm going to use a text and say after XSLT, giving a line. And XSLT. Okay. Now I have my log also. So next thing, how do we call Workday? So we have a component called Workday Outsoap. How we use Workday Outrest is to call reports, right? So for calling API calls, you have Workday Outsoap. So this is a delivered palette. I connect my this to this, and I'll make sure if something errors out here, I'll have it handled in my ASIC mediation here. So I added my downstream errors there. And then my workday out SOAP, common. I have my application. I can click an icon here, select a workday web service call. And then I'm going for change job in human resources or staffing, right? Staffing. Yeah. And then version, current version, what are we on? 30.0, what's my API? So my API version is 30.0. I mean, it's the same version here. Okay, so we have configured our API now. Yeah. And then if anything errors, so it will come here. I'll put a quick message after it, so we know we have a success. Let's go. Info. I'm gonna print success. That's it. I'm not gonna do anything else. Okay. So I'm now gonna deploy it. Deploy. Okay. And I have to make sure that my input file has at least some good employee IDs that it can work on, right? So I'm gonna go back to my tenant, probably run this report and get a couple of employee IDs from here. This guy. Copy, paste. This guy here. I don't know if Superman is a legitimate employee ID. Let's just check. Yeah, Superman is not a legitimate employee ID. So this one should error out. This one should error out in the beginning itself, where we have our validation, right? Active employee or not. It should error out there itself. So I'm gonna save it. Saved in my input.csv. It's in our class folder. So I'm gonna run my integration now. Integration admin. Okay. Keeping my fingers crossed. Let's see. I have some errors. And let's see if I get. We have 2 successes, and probably the other one is error out, right? So let's click our error log. Let's just see. We are also getting a weird error sometimes. So okay, 21502. What's this guy? Not even an employee ID. Where did he come from? Where did he come from? 21502. Okay. Before looking at that, let's see what how our employees look like. 21132, did they get a job change or not? Okay. Okay. No, they did not get a job change. Let me open the log file. Let's see what happened. What happened to you guys? Our log. Okay, so we have our record. This is it. File. We have our after SSL here. Let's just see what this is doing. So let me open my oxygen control and up control and we have an employee sitting effective date is in there. Manager global support. Okay. So my effective date is 3/3/2018. Did I pass the date here in my input file? This is my input name. Okay, and my effective date is 3/3. He did load them successfully. So if I go to this employee, if I go to his worker history, there is a transfer. It was initiated on 3/5/6/19 p.m. That's by us, and then it was effective date at 3/3. Click on it. Click on process. I should see it was initiated by me, and it says it's an external load. So that means it was initiated to an API call, not someone doing from the UI. And then even details, we didn't change its position. Nothing, everything stays as same. What we changed is his salary. So we used to be 95,000 and we changed it to 143,000 something. That's not what we changed it to. Oh, it's giving in Canadian dollars. So it's auto converting it from USD. So probably 111 USD is something equivalent to 143 CAD. Yeah. Our assignment details were changed from 95,000 to the amount that we have given. And that's what we're looking for. So that's good. And Superman will not load, so we don't have to worry about him. And Wonder Woman should also load. Yeah, data change. Nope. Oh, very good. 619. I'm using a 1/1/2018 date. Okay, 1/1/2018 date is my effective date from the file. So I got a 1/1/2018 date, and this was the transaction that we entered just now. Same thing. Questions, anyone? Vivek. Vivek is asking a question. So if we made a mistake and then process has updated a wrong one, So then can we roll up the updated changes? Uh, so I'm gonna tell you a way. If that is what you are expecting, if you know, otherwise you might be thinking of something else as well. So for example, we haven't. Uh, so if you did an action in Workday, so if you did a business process transaction on a worker, let's say you transferred a person, right? So for example, this data change happened and you transferred this person or changed something and you want to cancel it, right? So you go to business process, you see an option called resend. So you can resend a particular transaction by going into the business process. So if you have done it through UI, maybe one record you did a transfer on one employee, so that's fine. You can go to that employee's job history, resend that transaction, right? But doing an integration, you might load multiple records at a time. Let's say you might have changed like 150 records in one integration run, right? So in such cases, there is a task called mass resend business processes, where this is like a stop button in a server, right? So you can resend for all business processes from a particular moment to a particular moment. So you can use this date range to filter your transactions. I'll do business process type, and then I'll do transfer. Yeah, to change job. Okay, and I have a date range here. So I know I've changed it today. So my from moment will be somewhere 03/04/2018 to now, and then I can limit based upon my number of rows I want to see. Okay, and now I have seen both all our three employee records here. I can do select all and then resend. Right. So that's how you typically cancel or resend a mistake in Workday. So you can do that. If you have like hundreds and thousands of transactions, also you know what date you processed them by using your integration run. You know when it ran, and you know the full moment. So you can input those and limit your search result to only the integration, the change that you have done, right? Yep. So this is the same task, even though if you have did it through an inbound EIB, or if we have did a math, yeah, same thing for an inbound EIB as well. If you've loaded 100 job changes, you use the same task. But there is another option, business process loaded by EIB. So if you load an inbound EIB, you can actually select selected inbound EIB event here. Last one, if someone have run any inbound EIBs. So change other IDs load was ran on 8/9/2016, right? So I can pick an event from an integration run, and then I can search for it. 01/01/2015. The date range can mass processing can be 180 days. So I can't really defend this because the date was proper 2016. 01/01/2018. Yeah, number of no event returned because this event was not in this year. And last 30 days. Have you guys inbound EIBs? Okay, I'll play this one. Okay. 08/14/2017. Okay, yeah. But if you have an event, you can pick it here within 180 days, and you can refund and take transactions that were loaded in that event. Okay. And it's the same BPS. Any other questions, anyone? But these tasks are very risky. So you have to make sure that you are returning the right things. So once the result happens, there's no coming back. Okay, get back to the studio. So we have seen how to use an API, and we have seen how to use it in XSLT, right? So the same API, the entire API, you can also do it in the write. You don't have to create an XSLT. Just remember how you use this write component, right? For example, in here, we use this write to create an error message, right? Instead, you can get all your API requests and paste it in your write. Uh, we added something here. We're not going to run it, but let me just show you. This is one way of doing it. Add a text, put your entire thing here, and then in the place of employee ID, you have already initiated your props, right? So @ cloud brackets, get your prop from here, and then put it, right? So this is one way to do it. So you can do it in write like this, like you can just put your parameters, or you can do it in XSLT. So if you ask me, XSLT, if it is a straightforward thing, you can do it in write. But if you want to write some choose when conditions and determine something better and it will be easy to code, then just go for XSLT. You can write if conditions also in write, but this one is easy for me. Okay. So this is an put, right? So we have done a change of. Similar way you can do a get as well. You can use the get workers API. You just have to configure the request with the employee ID that you want and call the workday out soap, and you will get a get worker response back, and you can write your. I mean, it comes in an XML, right? So as long as you get a value or a message into an XML or in an XML, you know how to read that XML. All you have to do is parser0.export and put that export value to whatever record you want. It's very easy to. So first thing is convert something into an XML. That's very required in Studio. Okay, and okay, I'm gonna walk through our remaining palettes just quickly. Most of the palettes I have not used, so we are not going to use it because for constraints. So we'll just go through it, and I'll say what are the use cases. If you want, you can add some, right? So let's go through them. So we use workday in. That's our start here. So it will be this one always. Local in. We have used local in and local out together, right? And then we have used workday out rest. So workday out rest is used to call workday reports or used to call workday custom objects, right? And then workday out SOAP is used to call workday APIs, SOAP APIs. So there is another out transport called HTTP out. Just one thing. Yeah. We have another component called HTTP out. So HTTP out is basically for you to call any HTTP endpoint to get results off. So if you have a REST call, if you want to make, if you have to send data to an external endpoint, HTTP endpoint, you can use this HTTP out to send it. So, for example, if a person uses, or if the server that side uses a header, and you require to add a header, it can also do it. So for HTTP out, right, you have your endpoint, you configure your endpoint, something HTTPS google.com or something, whatever the endpoint that your vendor gives. HTTP method, you can select it from put, post, delete, and get. If you select it from either of these four, it should be one of these. Okay. And then in advanced, there are other options as well. There is a retry, how many times you want to retry, and what is the delay you want to put between each retry if something happened on the endpoint. You can log values, log entries. If you are doing a get, you can accept a zip function, a zip file or not. You can control it here. Yeah. And then FTP out, similar to but most of the integrations will use the Workday document delivery service in order to deliver files. So we have already seen the document delivery service how it works, right? You configure it in the UI, you give it SFTP credentials and everything. So similar to that, we also have a palette to do the same job, but this palette is from your studio. So you have to give it all your credentials, the username and password, same thing. The method that you wanna do, SFTP, mget. If you want to get multiple documents at a time, use mget, mdelete put. You have FTPS out, SFTP out, same thing. I'm not sure what an XMPP out is. It's saying send an instant message. Probably this is used to send a message to an or a server, like a trigger message or something. Custom out. This is also a available option. You can write your Java, and you can do a out transport with that. Email out. You can send an email also from your studio. For example, if you want to send emails to all candidates that have signed up or did something, right? You can do it from studio, but you need your port, your host, and everything. So you probably need a Excel server in order to create emails. But this email is different from your Workday generated notifications. So Workday generated notifications are going from Workday server. If you want to use this email out from your studio, you might need your own Exchange server, like your company's Exchange server or something. Okay, that's done. Okay, sorry. Okay. We have seen async mediation a lot of times. We have used it. This is just a box that helps you to hold, and it also does certain actions. You can write a when condition, asking it when to execute, when not to execute, or skip certain things. It has to execute steps when. I mean, this is available on every palette, so you can execute a step based upon a condition. Right? You have your async mediation. So a little bit different from sync mediation. Sync is one direction, async is bidirectional. So if you put it in front of your HTTP out, something, if you put it somewhere here, right? So you send a request, HTTP out, and then you get a response back. You get a response back into this. So you can send a request here, and you can use the response using a different thing. So it's bidirectional. Custom mediation, again, it's a Java bean. So you have a route. We have seen route. We have seen a couple of strategies for route. We have seen our ML strategy, which is nothing but creating based upon a true or false condition, it will route to an external endpoint. So you can write an expression, and based on that expression, it will route. So similarly, how we did, there we do. We did. Yeah, this is the same ML. And you also have other strategies like document iterator here, and all strategies, subrub is there, everything is there. And we have used splitter and aggregator, we have seen them, what we can do. These are all some common components. Get event documents is something like that. You have a previous event or you have a vid of a particular event. If you have a vid of a particular, give me one second. Yeah. So if you have a vid of an integration event and you want to get the output files of that integration event, you can as well do it. You can use this get integration, sorry, get event dot palette and provide a vid to it in the parameters. You provide a vid, event vid, and then it will grab you the output files of the document. Get integration systems probably does the same thing. You provide a vid, system vid, and you get the integration system details. Paste get. So paste get is mostly used to if you let's say, right, you have your get workers API call. We haven't seen it, but get workers API call eventually returns multiple pages of your response. So I mean, if you have like 1,000 workers in your company, and you did a get workers call, you'll get multiple pages of output. Page in a sense, so each page will have has a maximum of 999 records, but you can control it within your API request. You can set a page count to, sorry, the number of records in a page to 50, and then number of pages will be 20 in that case, right? So in that case, right, you can use this paste get. So it will read through each page, and it will show you the results based upon it. PDF print step. I'll show this one tomorrow. I might go through BERT tomorrow, and then we'll see that. Put integration event. What this do? Put integration event will basically update your integration. It's something like percentage complete. You can update. You can pass a percentage complete here. Percentage complete value is used to maintain progress bar on your. So you see the progress bar on your integration, right? Or some messages in your integration. The info messages that automatically work it generates. You can configure them. So you can configure this percentage complete, and you can call it multiple times and say, let's say if you have processed, you have like 1,000 records in your input file, and you have processed 250 records, right? You can call this thing and say, let's 25% complete. We have processed 300 records, let's say 30%. Otherwise, right, Workday automatically calculates it, but the percentage complete, you can't really say, if you don't configure it, you can't really say how much it is. But I regularly don't do it. It's not much required. If you want to do any special coding and everything, you can do things like this. Salesforce connector. I think Workday delivered a palette for Salesforce connector. You can directly connect it to Salesforce using the parameters that are already available, username, password, token, everything. This is like a direct connector to Salesforce. Workspace components. These are components within your workspace. That means from different assemblies. So these are all components from my other assemblies as well. Yes, because I have Excel logger assembly here, all my Excel logger local in or inserts showing up here, something like that. Right. And then error handlers, we have seen log error, we have seen send error. Custom error handler is a Java bean, so you can use that. Transformations, we have seen XSLT, XSLT Plus, it came newly, it will support XSLT 3.0, and it will support some of the new functionalities of XSLT. Most of the code is also always in XSLT. XSLT Plus is pretty new. Maybe it came in last upgrade. This one, you can convert a text to Excel. All you have to do is just give give it an input message. So your input message can be in text, and then the text is converted to an XML. Sorry, Excel. Text schema. So text schema is used to convert text to XML and XML to text. So in certain scenarios, right, we have seen CSV to XML converter, but we haven't seen a fixed with format to an XML converter. So fixed with, you have to tell the code or the XML to see, sorry, the text schema to understand what width is what field, right? For example, I have my input file here, and let's take if this is a fixed width file. Instead of comma, it's a fixed width. Okay. I have to tell my XML that the first 8 characters are my employee ID, the next 10 characters are my first name, right? You have to tell, otherwise it will not know. Comma separated is easy because we have a converter. So you have to write your XML schema in order to convert a text to XML or XML to text. I'll share some examples with you guys. You can look at it, and if you have questions, we can discuss. XML to Java. We have XML to JSON as well. This also will need a most of this will be schema. So you have to give it a schema in order to translate your XML to JSON. We have seen CSV to XML, XML to CSV. ETV and XTT are pretty new. These are similar to your document transformation functions. You can create an ETV and XTT step, and then you can set a property saying ETV validate or XTT pixel length, and then truncate something. That's in copy set headers. So for a HTTP out, right? If you have headers, if you want to set some headers, like password type, things like that, you can use set headers, and you can add your headers based upon what headers that you that are, right? For example, password type. That's a header, and you want to give text or something. So you can pass headers, or you can remove headers if you want to remove certain headers. There is a PGP encrypt and PGP decrypt function as well. Most of the time, what we'll use is we'll use the Workday delivered PGP keys. So you encrypt a file or decrypt a file from the UI itself. You don't have to do it in Studio. You have a base64 decode and base64 encode. The base64 decode, I mean, we all know if you get a base64 format of a PDF file, you want to decode using this base64 decoder. So you can convert that into a file, and then you can upload it into Workday or something. So Workday APIs, especially, they take base64. So if you're retrieving a PDF file from an external server and you want to upload it to Worker documents, so you can use a put Worker document API, but that API in place of file, it takes a base64. So you might want to use a base64 encoder to convert your input PDF file into a base64 format before uploading it. You can zip multiple files, unzip it, compress, decompress. So these are all, most of the times, right, we don't use it. But if you want to use it, then we have to learn. I mean, I haven't never used 60 to 70% of these palettes. There is store, we have seen retrieve, we have seen store, enqueue message. Workday has an
Krishna.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the tutorial you showed the other day, all of these palettes are explained there also, right? The usage and the parameters and all of that. Is that true? Right? In case if I need to go back and review it.
So most of the palettes and everything, right? You'll see in Studio Help itself what these palettes will do and things like that. Within the help, you can go to help content, and you can search for a palette HTTP out.
Okay.
And it should give you something. Yeah, you can see HTTP out here, and then you can go through it and see what it takes. Scroll down, you should have an email out.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, for example, FTP out, right? So FTP out, each thing, it will explain what are all the possible values and what type of value it is expecting, any validation errors and things like These are all the palettes, and we should also know about annotations. So you can annotate on your Studio Code, so it will be easy to like create it good. You can add a note, and you can write some notes, version of the Studio Code, developed by, and things like that. There is an annotations off or on button here. So you can, if you click it, the annotations will be here. If it's on, you'll see annotations. You can also put some rectangular boxes. So let's take, this is my main studio line, right? So I'm gonna do a rectangular box here. So I basically decorate my code so it's easy for me to understand. This is my main assembly, and I can add more nodes here if I want to. Annotations. We got a question. How do I track the changes in WordPress Studio? Do we have a version control for WordPress Studio? How do we add comments? Okay. So Vivek was asking, how do we track changes in WordPress Studio or using WordPress Studio? Have a version control to WordPress Studio. So there is an extension we need to apply. Let me see.
So the other day, I believe you showed the other day Subversion and GitHub and all of that the other day.
Yeah, so Subversion should work and GitHub should also work. But those are extensions you need to install it. I tried using GitHub a couple of projects back, but it was still at the early stages. So we could not successfully integrate, and later my clients never needed it. So, but the thing is, right, even if you use SVM or GitHub, you're packaging your integration into a class file. And most of the times your SVM or GitHub will only read certain code changes. I mean, especially in the studio, not regular things. So they have to still adapt to your WordPress Studio working environment. But yes, you can integrate them. I did not find any place showing how yet. So there's a cheat sheet. Okay. Okay. Any questions, anyone? Just thinking out what else should we discuss. Tomorrow I'll go through BERT reporting, just an overview of it. We're not going to build it. I'm going to show you how to build it, but we guys can try and build it out later. BERT is an entirely different type of concept. It's just a reporting tool designed on Eclipse. So you can create PDF files and things like that using your data in Workday. So we're going to go through that, and I'm going to see if we are missing anything else from our sessions that I need to cover, or if you guys want me to cover something else, just let me know. Otherwise, what we'll do is after tomorrow's class, we'll probably take a break. In the sense, it's not really a break, but I'll give you guys some time to work on it, work on these palettes and everything, build a studio, do a change job, or like someone already did a put payroll input. You can use multiple different APIs to do it. So try out the studio, and then if you have questions, we'll catch up on a Saturday or next Monday or something. That's my plan. Like we are almost done. Okay. If you guys don't have any other questions, You guys can drop off. If anyone has questions, I'll stay back. That's all for today, and see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Okay. I don't see any questions. I'm. Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful evening.